Hi, everyone. How are you? So I want this to kind of be interactive. So I want people to kind of chime in. And when I ask questions, I want people to, engage in the conversation. Okay. So my topic is about vision boards and how important it is. I always say when I speak in front of other people is that I wish I knew what I knew now when I was 18, 19, 20, when I was younger, because I feel like my life could have been a little different, right? I didn't understand um, the importance of writing things down and having a vision, right? I really didn't understand that until I got in my 30s. Um, and so my goal is to share what I know with everyone else that can hear me, right? Um, how many of you guys know what a vision board is? And how many of you guys have written? Okay, I see some people saying no, they don't know what a vision board is. Okay, let me see. I got to swipe. Okay, so for those who don't know what a vision board is something that you put in your house, in your bedroom, somewhere where you can see it all the time. And you kind of map out what you want out of life, right? Or sometimes people even do it in months period. So you could do it in the next 3 months, this is what I'm going to do. Or in the next 6 months, this is what I want to do. And sometimes even look like a timeline. Okay. So you kind of map things out for the next 3 years, right? This year, I'm going to focus on this. The second year, I'm going to focus on this. And the third year, I'm going to focus on this. So it's different type of vision boards. And I like to do both of them. I like to do the timeline, but I also just like to sit, gather my thoughts, get into prayer, really allow God to focus on what God has planned for my life, right? Like, God, what is it that you want me to do? And I start putting those things on paper. I'm going to actually talk to you guys, Leader and Lorene, to see if we could have an in-person vision board session at my home. So hopefully they're okay with that, and we could actually come together and we can do some live vision boards together real soon. But a vision board, you want it, like I said, it's different types. You have timeline ones, and then you have ones just the different things that you desire and you want. So today I'm going to focus the first half on just what you may want. Okay. So I'm not sure the age group here, what, 15 to 18, or what's the age group?
I believe our youngest in here is 9, and our
Okay.
oldest in here is a grandmother. So you have a whole range of folks here.
Hey, Lorraine, how are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself? And
I'm doing
I'm always
good.
down to come to your house. So
Huh?
I said I'm always down to come to your house. So just let us know.
No, I think it's important because it's one thing about me coming on and talking about it, but I think people need to just see it. And for us to actually get busy tearing down magazines and putting things actually on paper. I was trying to figure out how we can do this via Zoom, but I couldn't figure it out. So I want to talk about it a little bit and then open my home up for a vision board party very soon. So we'll talk about that afterwards. So first thing you want to do is, some people go into prayer, some people meditate, but really trying to figure out what it is that you want. Okay. And you want to put those things on paper. Okay. Get some magazines. If you want a particular bicycle, put that bicycle on your board. Find a picture of it. If you can't find a picture in a magazine, go to the computer and print that picture out, and you stick it somewhere where you can see it every single day. Okay. If you're trying to get straight A's in school, you go and you get a report card that says straight A's, and then you put your name on top. And what that does is every single day when you see it and when you look at it, it gets in your subconscious mind. And how this whole subconscious mind and our conscious mind work is, our subconscious mind is always working. Okay. That's the reason why vision boards work so well. Is because it's constantly in front of you. And if your mind is always working, and if you have things in front of you, and if you're doing things like reading the type of books that motivate your mind, or watching different TV shows that inspire you and motivate you, your mind is always, your subconscious mind is always working, even when you're sleeping. So it's, sometimes when I'm sleeping, I put on motivational talks, or I put in soaking music. It depends on what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to achieve. Or if I just want peace, I may put on some soaking music, because your subconscious mind is always going. So as go back to the vision boards, you want to put something in front of you that you want. For example, when I first started doing vision boards, I remember I put this car that I wanted. And at that time, I wasn't doing vision boards. I take that back. I would take magazines, and I would just stick it on my bathroom window, or my bathroom mirror. And I would watch it. I would just look at it. When I'm brushing my teeth, I'll just be looking at it. When I'm doing whatever, I'm just looking at it. And I put it in a place where I can see it all the time. And mind you, when I put this car on my vision, when I put this car on my mirror in my bathroom, it was something that I thought was going to come 5, maybe 6 years from now, right? Because honestly, I didn't understand or see how that was even going to be possible. Because at that time, I was about 24 years old, and I just got my car repoed. I was working at a salon. I quit my 9 to 5. I said I wanted to do hair full time. And yeah, they came to my salon and they took my car because I didn't pay for it, right? I wasn't making my payments. And so I put this car that I wanted on my mirror, on my mirror. And I just kept watching it. I kept seeing it. I kept seeing it. I kept seeing it. I kept seeing it. And not only did I keep seeing it, but then every time I went out in the street, I would see this car. So then in my dreams, I start like visualizing myself driving this car. Well, mind you, I just told you I got my car repoed, right? Got my car repoed. So you guys all know when your car get repoed, what happens to your credit, right? Speak to me. What happens to your credit when you don't pay your bills? Anybody?
Down.
Go ahead, unmute y'all.
It goes down.
Your credit goes down, and it goes bad. And so my credit went bad, everything. And I remember going down to Los Angeles, and I tell this story all the time because it really just hit home. I remember going down to Los Angeles, and I finally saved up some money to go get me a used car. Okay. And the car that I went to go get was actually a BMW 325. It was like 5 years old. I knew I wanted red, and that's the car I went to go get. And the 3 Series is the bottom of the series, right? Mind you, the car that I had on my mirror was a 745, right? Which is one of the biggest cars that BMW have. Okay. And it was a newer one that was on my mirror. So I went down there, and I remember saying, that's the car that I want. It was a little BMW, and it was red, and that's the car that I wanted. The guy took me over there, and then all of a sudden I heard my sister say, what's the nicest car you have on this lot? Because remind you, I went in there thinking about the cheapest, the most inexpensive one, and what I could afford. And I remember he took us up on the roof. Okay. And we went, and he said, my sister said, well, how much is that car? And the car that she was looking at was a 745. And I said to my sister, I said, we came here for me, not you. And I was so irritated with her because I'm like, Dad, I just came out here to find me a car. And so my sister told me, she said, do you like that car? And I said, yeah. We went down there, and I still get emotional. I remember my mom saying, well, if I help you co-sign on this car and you become a co-signer, I become your co-signer. I help you build your credit and you will be able to afford the payments. And my sister broke it all the way down, how we was going to afford it and everything. Make a long story short, I end up driving off that lot with a 745, one of the biggest cars, the most expensive car off that lot. And it's the same exact car that was on my mirror that I was looking at for over a year. So I can tell you guys stories after stories after stories about putting things in front of you and how it would just manifest. Okay. So it's really important that you put what you want on there too. Don't just go in there and start ripping out papers and throwing anything on there. Take your time, even if it takes you, a couple of weeks, maybe even a month to gather everything you want. You can always add to your vision board too. Okay. So one thing I recommend is don't just go and just put anything, because whatever you put on there, you will manifest. And I have another example for that. I was doing something like 7-8 years ago, and I had a marriage group and we did vision boards. And at that time, we didn't really have all the magazines that I wanted. So I just started throwing things on the vision board. And I remember I threw these chairs on my vision board. And a couple of years later, I ended up looking in my house, and those same exact chairs that was on my vision board that I really didn't care for like that, I ended up having it around my dining room table. Okay. So vision boards work. And I remember telling my husband, I really didn't even like it when it was on my vision board. And I remember when we got them in my house, I was like, oh, okay, that's all I can, that's all they had at home goods. I'll just take it, and I end up having it. So really take your time to, figure out what it is that you really, really desire and want, and just always make sure it's in alignment with, what God wants for you as well. Do I have any questions? Okay. Well, I want to pick on Elijah, because I think Elijah said that he didn't even know what a vision board was, right? Is
the mic working?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So could you ask the question again? I'm sorry.
No, are you guys following me? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Does it make sense? Is it clicking? Because I know I'm talking a lot.
I thought like vision boards were more like job orientated, but yeah, that makes sense now.
Yeah, vision boards can be anything, Elijah. It can be your dream job. It can be anything that you want. Anything that you want. Do not limit yourself or limit your vision board. You can have multiple vision boards. You can have one for the things that you just want to have, that you desire to have, that looks nice. And then you can also have your long-term vision board, and you can also have an academic vision board, or you can have your dream job vision board. Your dream board can be anything. Your vision board can be anything. Okay. You can even have a financial vision board. I have those too. I break down what I want to make, how much money I want to make this year. I even go as far as what I want to be able to give to other people. And I remember beginning of this year, I had a list. Like God told me to put down a list of people who I want to give my time to give my resources to, and also give my money to. And guess what organization I said? This one. And I actually reached out to Lorene. I'm not sure if you remember that. And I said, let me know how I can assist you this year. So your boards can be about anything. Hi, Sharina. Are you following along? Go ahead and unmute.
I'm following along. My kids are just noisy.
Is it things that you're trying to do this year, or even in 2022, that you really trying to, get under wraps or put a clear vision for?
I'm doing them because I vision board faithfully.
Oh, so
we use living vision boards. I no longer use the ones where we paint because I like to be able to adjust them and adapt them and grow them. So we do all of ours on cork. In 2020, my goal was to take what I was doing with working with students and homeschooling and being a homeschool resource and take it on more of a global scale. I'm doing that now. I'm getting paid to do it well.
Go ahead.
My husband was laid off all of 2020 and we didn't miss a meal. It definitely works because when I walked away from my job 10 years ago, I thought there's no way, like we're going to be completely poor forever. And that's not true. So it's absolutely, it's critical.
It is very, and I walked away from a guaranteed income as well. So I understand. I came out here and I never thought that I would be doing hair. I never thought it was a career. You know, my family never really.
I remember when you came out.
Oh, so then you know. And
yeah,
I remember being in the Salvation Army line. I remember being in sitting around at Arco Arena trying to get my house remodified because I was about to lose my house. I lost my car. I had to bring generators into my home. And it was just this here, vision boards. And I like the cork ones too. And I do those because I like to take things off and replace it. But I started to go back to the old vision boards because I love to show people. This was my vision board in 2020. In 2013, this is my vision board in 2015. I like to really display it because sometimes when I start taking things off, I kind of forget what God has done for me. Like, what I also do with my kids is sometimes I do the jars, and every year what I do is I take the jar and I have the kids write down what they're desiring that they have on their vision board. And then they put it inside the jar and then we close it. And then we put, once for 2019. And then at the end of the year on December 31st, we go through those jar and we kind of be like, oh my God, Ashton, you said this. Oh my God, Marcel, you said this. And then it's just showing the kids how it really, really works, So thank you for sharing that. That was awesome.
That will be in the homeschool plan for 2021. So we're going to do it because we reset our year in August because we're homeschoolers. So that's when our greatest shift in the year happens. So we don't go in December or January for our vision boards. We start in August.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you for sharing and also testifying how this works. Because sometimes when I talk about vision board, if you're not really done it before, a lot of people are like, okay, I'm hearing your story, but does it really work? And I love to have other people come on and talk and share about different things. I want to hear from a teenager. Have any teenager done a vision board on here?
Have you done a vision board before, Brianna?
I have not done a vision board before.
What about you, Miss Janice? Have you done a vision board?
It looked like Janice have.
Yeah, one right here.
There we go. Janice, take your phone off of mute or your computer off mute. Come on, let's talk about your vision board.
Okay, so I made it like with my cousin like last year around like the end of the year. I mean, I've accomplished a few things on it. It wasn't really directed I want to make a new one that's directed toward like a certain point in my life. This one was kind of very much wide ranged. I want to have like some directed toward your business, one toward like your spiritual life, and then one towards like how I want to grow as a person. So those are the three that I want to have directed towards things. This was like very wide based, and one was like a solid clientele. I've accomplished that. I've been doing really well when it comes to my business.
What do you do?
I do nails.
Nails, okay.
And another one was called, I had it to study the Bible, and I've been doing that. I've been doing it well. I've been going through books. I've been actually like getting books that pertain to spiritual books. So like I've been reading more. I've been doing that, accomplishing that. And what's another one? Another one, I had a plane on here because I had never been on the plane. And this summer I actually flew because I flew to Vegas. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you can pick about 3 to 4 things that you actually accomplished off the vision board that you kind of put together. It wasn't really guided towards anything. It was just things that you wanted to do that you put on your vision board and you accomplished that. And you're definitely, so you said you were going to do it again, right?
Yes, I'm ready to make. I want to make a new one.
Okay. Well, hopefully you guys can come over and we can do it together. Okay.
Okay.
Can you show
We're,
the board real quick, Janice, again, so I can?
yes.
I missed it. Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Make sure you keep that forever. Who else is on here? Thank you, Lorraine, for helping me pick some folks because my phone
I think
is.
Sydney wants to share. Sydney wants to share. Sydney, unmute and talk to Miss.
I am here.
Hi, Sydney Shaw. How are you?
Hello. Yes, I made a vision board before.
Okay. And what did you have on your vision board? And did you accomplish the things on your vision board?
Didn't make one this year or last year, but like the last time I made one was like very basic things, like get like your first job. I completed that. It was also moving, which our whole family moved to a different house. And then like little things that I also completed, like getting a new camera. I got that recently, and like my own computer and phone. So yeah, I got what I wanted.
Now,
Like,
why did you stop
about it.
doing it, Sydney?
Well, there's no good reason. It's because I started painting what I wanted instead of doing vision boards.
Okay, that works too.
Mostly because like if I get inspired by something, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna paint it instead of like, oh, let's make a vision board. And like we usually do a group activity, and like we just haven't really done it in a little bit.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Well,
I love that.
I haven't done it. They have.
Okay. Okay. And sometimes even with me, I might fall off, and I try to do one every 6 months, and I find myself doing one every year. But it's just about writing things down and being consistent. So vision boards, you want to become like a norm, like a habit. I swear by them. You want to make sure that you're writing stuff down. I keep one of these notepads. I write things down. It is proven that the things that you write down, it registered better in your mind than you just taking notes on your phone or typing it in your phone. They said that it's really good for us to actually take our pen and our pencil and actually write. So I'm starting to do that more. I have so many of these that are full, and then when I'm done, I just file them up, and I love to go back and read through them. And it just reminds me of the things God is doing in my life and what he has done and the promises that he made to me. Is it anybody else out there?
It's always somebody else. Zachariah.
Right, and then we can hit up Brianna and then Anaya.
I don't think I've wrote a vision board before. If I
You said what?
I don't think I've made a vision board before, but if I did, I don't really remember it.
Now, are you talking to people with your camera off? Because I sure didn't see your face. There you
Yeah.
go. Hey.
I don't really remember if I did one or not, but yeah, I don't. Even if I did do it, it was probably something for school, so I don't really remember it.
Sharie, you're muted, love. So go ahead and unmute because I see you talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how that happened. What do you think about the vision boards now, based off what we're talking about and how other people on here have been talking about how vision boards do work? Is that something that you want to do, or is something like, I don't know?
I don't know, because now that I think about it, I did kind of have something similar in school once. It was called like we did it like every year while I was in middle school, or I think it was only like for 6th and 8th grade, but it was something called like your personal something. It was basically what do you want to accomplish in life. It was like you make like a Google slide, or like you would write it down, and it's just what you want to accomplish in your life. moving forward. So
Okay. So my next question, or I think we have somebody else, right? Did you have somebody else? Because I wanted to.
Who did you say? Anaya? What do you
Yeah, Anaya and Brianna.
Before we go there, 1 second. Zachariah, right?
Yes.
What about, do you ever sit back in your room and just vision about some of the things that you want or the places that you want to go? Do you ever find yourself daydreaming about different things that you want to see yourself, or, you know, like somebody said they want to get on the airplane. Do you ever vision yourself and on a beach somewhere or on vacation with someone?
yeah. Oh, I do that a lot sometimes.
You do that what?
I do that a lot sometimes just to get a visual, just for me to get like a visual.
Yeah, and that's good.
Just a thought of like what I want to do. Like what I want to do later on in life.
So you sit back and vision yourself doing that now, even though it's in the future?
Yes.
Okay. So that's a form of vision. It's not the actual vision board, but it's the one that you mentally sit back and you vision yourself actually doing it. Okay. So you are doing vision boards, and well, it's not vision boards, but you're doing a type of visionary, right? And it doesn't always have to be on paper. Sometimes people do it just in their head. Sometimes they look at something and they keep on reminding themselves of that particular thing. And every day they daydream about that. And then those things end up happening. Have you ever daydreamed about something consistently, like kept thinking about something in particular and end up showing up in your life? Like you end up having it, or you end up going there, or you end up being with that person?
No, no, not really. Because most of the stuff sometimes I would think about would either be like when I'm like older, or yeah, most of the stuff that I daydream about would be like either when I'm older,
when you're older,
or just things that I could have done in that situation, but I didn't.
Okay. But you learn from it, right? For the next situation that's to come.
Yeah, because like a lot sometimes when I'm like in a situation, like I will look at sometimes like with situations like in the past, like at school or at just my regular home life. I'll just look at just the different things I would have said or done in that situation, and like how would that affect how would that have a different outcome?
I do that too a lot. Yeah, I do that too. Thanks for sharing.
I can attest to writing things down because I remember so I wrote in this book. So this is an old journal that I haven't wrote in because I finished this journal, so I have a new one. And it was late August, and I had wrote down like my priorities and my goals for the end of 2021. So this was August of excuse me, last year. And I remember writing like in this for my nail room, I had wrote like an IKEA desk. And right now I have a new IKEA desk that I just purchased. And then I talked about my chair, and I have the new chair. And then I have the name of my Instagram account right here written down. And I have my Instagram account. It's up and running. I also have like on here, this is very crazy because I was like what I wanted to learn about and stuff I wanted to learn about. And I ended up like researching all of those things, starting my nail account. Like I did that, like growing my relationship with my mother and having my nail room set up. Like I'm literally like just standing in everything that I wrote down, which is kind of crazy, but like I had all this stuff written down, and now it's like it's right here.
Well, congratulations. Seriously, the joy that I feel coming through this computer, like you actually went through it and you saw it. And that's why I said I like to keep my journals, because I go back and I read them. This is one of them that I've completed. And the other day it was from 2020, and I was going through it, and I'm like, okay, wow, A lot of this stuff is done. And I have tons of them, and just the joy, it just gives me so much gratitude to know that God is so faithful to what he say and what he promised us, so I'm excited for you.
Miss Anaya?
Keep going.
Okay, so I made a vision board because it was an assignment at school, and like some of the stuff I put on it was to get straight A's, attend Spelman, get a car, get a nice house, start my own family. I want to become a teacher, and then I also put like make $1 million. I reached my goal of getting straight A's, and I reached my money goal, not $1 million, not yet. But I reached my money goal because I have a job now, so I was able to make my own money and start providing for myself. And like, if anybody else needs money, I can help them with that.
Oh, so you're a giver, huh? That's pretty awesome. So do you check the things off that you actually achieved? Have you done that?
Right now, I just started I just started writing things down of what I want to do, because I'll think of stuff like, oh, I need to start doing that. Oh, I want to do that. And then I forget about it. And then like weeks later, I'll remember, oh yeah, I said I wanted to do that. So I need to get that. So.
It's so important that we write things down. Always keep something on the side of your bed, because sometimes I'm sorry, you guys, I'm a Christian. I'm a God freak. So I'm going to say God a lot in this, but sometimes in the middle of the night, God will wake me up and I'll write something down, or I have things in my purse. I have things on the side of my bed, because I'm always want to catch the things that I'm thinking about and write it down. Right. And so, when I go back through it, it's like, okay, right. Check, that happened. Check. So that's amazing. Thank you, Anaya, for sharing that.
Hi, I've never made a vision board myself, but I've been really inspired by all these people sharing just how helpful it's been for them. So I think I'll make one pretty soon.
Yeah, hopefully you can come over and we can all do it together, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Miss Donetta, what do you think about the vision boards?
I said I think they're absolutely wonderful, and I have been inspired by this little presentation, to create me a new vision board. I think the last time I did a vision board was when I was in college, and so right now I just been thinking about how I want my home to be built, not now that I'm getting older, to be accessible for me as an older person. So I need to put that on a vision board. But yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I would say this about even when you have hiccups achieving some of the things that you want, don't give up. The home that I'm in now, it was just a vision, and the same vision board that I have, I'm not sure if you heard me talk about the little round things on my chair. I did a vision board, and I was so specific on things that I wanted. And I said that I wanted, when you first walk through my house, I want to be able to see the pool, right? I wanted land. I wanted a nice open kitchen, and I wanted this and I wanted that. And when me and my husband found this house, we both said, that's not it. That's not it. And so finally I said, okay, God, I think this is it. I think you want us to get this house, because we kept circling back to this particular house. And so when we came to look at the house, we didn't have no appointment. I just knocked on the door, knock, knock. And it was a little Asian kid here. He was so sweet. And his parents lived in Tahoe, and he was living here by himself in college, working at AT&T. And I told him, I just want to come look at your house. And he said, you got to call the realtor. And I said, okay. And I turned around, walking back out. And he said, you know what? Come in. He let us walk through the house. The house was nothing like we really wanted, but I just felt like God just started giving me this vision, right? You can do this. You can tear down this wall. You can do this. You can do that. And I said, okay, I want to get it. I want to get it. Mind you, I didn't have a pre-approval. I didn't have no pre-approval, nothing, was not prepared. And I met with the realtor, and they ended up putting this house in escrow. Okay. And then I got denied like 10 times. Trust me. By then, people will walk away and say, you know what? It's not my time. I actually had people tell me, Sharie, it's not your time. Come back in a year. Come back. You need to get this right. You got to get your taxes right over here. You need to do this. Your income doesn't, your taxes doesn't add up on what you say you make. All this stuff was happening. You know what I did? Me and my husband would come to this house. And while we was going through escrow, it started in like November. And I don't think we closed until March. But we would go and I would walk around this house. And I would say, God, you said. God, you gave me this vision. God, you said. And I kept doing it after denial 1, after denial 2, after denial 3. And I kept saying it. And at the end, I kept going back to say, well, God, you said this property was going to be for the community. You said that I'm going to be able to do this on this property and do that on that property. At the very end, we got that approval. They did a bank statement loan, and they wasn't even doing bank statement loans back then. Okay. They stopped doing bank statement loans because of what happened in 2008, 2009. And I got a bank statement loan and I was able to get into this home. We have had, Lorraine brought the kids here for something before. I had people baptized in my pool. My home has been gutted out and redesigned exactly what I visioned it. And I say that to say, even when it seems like it's impossible, even when you feel like everything is coming against you, even when you feel like the things that's in front of you is telling you that you're not ready. If God told you it's yours, you keep going and you keep believing all the way into the very last no and the very first yes. Okay, because it's yours. And everything. I mean, I remember when I was getting this home, I would go back to my other house and I would just start visioning myself cooking. I would vision myself hosting things. I would vision myself doing all these things that God put on my heart to do. And I'm telling you, I'm doing all of that. I'm doing all of that.
Yes.
So everything you just said, you're going to have. Just keep
I
holding on.
receive it. I receive it.
Yes, it's yours. It's yours. I would say this, you guys, it's one thing about dreaming it, and you got to dream it, and then you got to vision it, and then you got to position yourself, right? That's the key. A lot of people say, well, I could dream it and I keep seeing it and then I should receive it. Well, it's not just 3 parts. It's 4 parts. You have to position yourself to get it to. And so let's not forget that. Just position yourself, position your heart posture, position your why, position on the reason why you want certain things. You understand what I'm saying? So always remember, it's dream it, vision it, position yourself, and then receive it. Do anybody else have any questions? Well, I know Lorraine said don't ask that, but who do you want to call on?
I want to call Miss Candace to see what she's thinking about the vision boards and whatever else.
I have vision boards. I do them personally. I do them with my clients in the past. Here are some of the ones that I've done so far. Okay. So these are the different ones. I do them for my career, family. Say that again.
Are they digital? Like you would?
No, I print out, I type everything in Microsoft, go to Dollar Tree. Everything here was from Dollar Tree. You don't have to spend a lot. You can use your computer and printer, magazines. With my clients, I have them draw. If we don't have a way for them to bring magazines, they don't have them, they draw whatever they want, or we print it out from Google. So I just really teach on manifesting and creating whatever you want for yourself. Sometimes for the clients that I work with, something seems so far off, it seems so hard to obtain for them. So whatever they really want, maybe it's basketball skills. For some of my clients, it was something as similar like that. Printing out your favorite players, printing out your favorite basketball quotes. What do you have to do? What are the steps you have to do to get there? So for many of my kids, because of their age, I started off with really small tasks. For myself, I kind of go on a broader scale, but I think it's wherever you are at that moment.
And another thing is that our minds is our dream killers sometimes, right? We doubt ourselves. We tell ourselves in our head, oh, that's not possible. Or I can't do this, or I can't do that. They say that we have other people that's our influence, right? They influence us. And that's true. But the biggest influencer is you. We have to take control of the thoughts that's in our head. And I try to do this with my kids, and also when I'm talking to other people, is that as soon as you get this thought that is not in alignment with what you're trying to do, you have all the control to catch that thought and try to grab it and throw it back out, and then input something that's more positive, that's going to be in alignment with where you're trying to go. Because our minds and our heads want to tell us things are impossible. I can't see it. How is that going to happen? I'm just from da 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 da. How can I end up getting where I need to go over there? Like, our minds can be so toxic where it just kills our dreams. So really taking control of our thoughts, grabbing those thoughts in that moment, don't soak in those thoughts, and replacing those thoughts with things that align with our vision and our purpose. Okay. Anybody else?
Before you wrap up, I haven't heard from Jada. So Jada, what do you think? Yeah, I'm putting it on you because I know you do a lot in terms of trying to get yourself, spiritually together, mentally together. So have you done a vision board? Have you thought about doing a vision board? What's going on with you?
So actually, I was raised doing vision boards. My mom called them goal posters, and so she's a Mary Kay independent sales consultant, and so a director, and so she actually would take me to her meetings, and in their meetings they would make goal posters. So I always grew up around it, and doing them as well. As I got older, I like strayed away. But she still, like, she would make them, and she would make them for me and my sister. So we would see what she would have a vision for us, and we just like, we don't want to do that, but it was cool or whatever. But for me, I do actually want to start doing them again. I think that they are very beneficial. I see a lot of people that, very inspiring, and a lot of them all participate in creating vision boards. And so for me, I'm looking towards to make one for my spiritual life, as well as like financially and just life and career, to see and to grow myself and to see what it actually is I can accomplish. Because I know that when you write things down, they do happen. And I have my journal too. But I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm not really good with all the journaling stuff. I have to get better. But I try to create better habits for myself. And so when I'm doing those, I try to find out which ways I can put the habits in. And a method I just found out was called like the sandwich method. And so you take an old habit, or you take like an old good positive habit, and you put a new positive habit in between it, and then you encompass it with another positive habit that you already do. That way it'll start working into your daily routine. So in the morning, I wake up and I meditate, and then I will go do my skincare. So now when I wake up and meditate, I keep my journal by my bed. And so now it's natural, or not, I'm growing into the natural phase of, oh, I just meditated. Let me grab my journal and write down how I'm thinking, what I'm thinking, and then I'll go wash my face. That way I can encompass it. And over time, it will turn into a habit for me. But yeah, so that's what I kind of do. But until I am able to make the dream board, because I'm very much interested in making one, especially live. I like touchy things because I think that makes it more real. Yeah, because I have done the Canva version, and I've like used Google Images and uploaded it, but I didn't really feel my heart wasn't in it because I didn't touch it. And so I need to touch it. So yeah,
let's plan it. And also with Jada, I remember when you came to the salon to get your hair done, you had a book.
Yes.
And you was reading, and I noticed it, and I'm like, I always notice when my clients are reading, and it kind of tells me they mind, like where they're at mentally, right? And I remember you had this book, and that's before I even knew what you was doing with the youth. And do you remember our conversation?
Yes, you were telling, well, because I was reading John Maxwell. He's like, you over there reading a John Maxwell book. Like, come on now, like a lot of people is like, into John Maxwell. And I was just like, it was just inspiring because like, you told me about him and other leaders that you listen to, and just to put me back into like a realization of like, okay, I am on track. Cause like a lot of times we are very hard on ourselves. We're like, I could be doing more, or I'm not where I want to be, and da da da. But then you have to like, you know, take a look around, and like it's nice when I have older people, not older people like that, but you feel me, like, you know, that been there, done that, and they're like, no, you're doing fine, you're on the right track. Cause I didn't read about him until I was this age, or until I got to this place, and you're reading them now. And so like for me, it's very inspirational. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I am on the right track in order like to give back to the kids. And so I can inspire them that, you know, you can grow in all different directions, and it's not something that's bad, or it's nothing wrong with being a leader. Even if you don't want to be the frontline leader, there's nothing wrong with going in that direction and taking those skills and adapting them in whatever environment you go to, because you can influence the room. You want to be energy that you attract. And so how do you do that? How do you control that? And I'm still learning too. Like I have a lot of growing to do. But the conversation was just, it put me back into a place where I was like, okay, well, maybe I am doing the right thing, and I'm not wasting my time, but I'm not doing the right thing. I'm doing what God called me to do. Because sometimes you feel like, well, maybe this isn't for me, and I shouldn't be doing this, and I'm at the wrong spot. But I feel like God always makes, when I question it like that, God always puts people in my life to like, no, you're good. Chill out. Like fix it. And so.
Yep. And then we have to learn, even when we know, like sometimes it's hard to change our vocab. So it's not maybe. I am on the right track. I am doing da 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 da. You know, and so it's not the maybe. Maybe needs to be tossed in the trash, because you are on the right track, and you are where you need to be, and you are learning. You're learning the things that you need to learn. It's not a maybe. You're doing it, you know? And so I did notice that about you when you came into the salon, because you was like John Maxwell. I listened to him, and I just learned about him a couple years ago, you know? So if you're listening to him and reading his stuff, you're on the right track, because he is such a phenomenal leader, and also Christian based. You know, he always centered it right back to God. Just going back to our words, right? What we say and how we use our words. I was just listening to, I think it was Steve Harvey, and he said, you know how sometimes we get them like, man, I got to go to work today. Or, man, I got to go to the gym today. Like, who really want to have to do something, right? Like, when we say it like that, it's like, I have to do this, or I have to go to the gym. He said, change our words to, I get to go to the gym today. I get to go to work today. I get to go speak in front of someone and motivate them. I get to go talk to the youth. Or it's the different energy, right? And words have power, and words hold emotions. So when they said that today, I think I listened to it today or last night, I was like, wow. So can you, even when I said it, you guys feel the different energy that's behind, I have to go to the gym, or I have to go to do this, or I have to go to work, or I have to go to school, versus I get to go to school today. I get to go to work today. I get to go speak in front of people today. And it's like, it changed the way you feel inside. So we have to remember that words carry energy. It carries power. That's why they say, be careful what comes out your mouth and what you say. And as soon as you realize you said something that contradict what you're trying to do, you need to grab it and reject it and throw it away, and then replace it with something positive that's in alignment with what you're trying to do. Can you guys all agree? You guys understand that part?
Yes. They're all shaking their heads. And I do want to add, even our conversation, you also was like, you wish you knew how to talk to people then when you were around our age, just because like words matter. And you also said, whenever you're in the mindset, because I want the kids to know that, she was like, whenever I'm in the mindset about to judge somebody or about to talk about somebody, I just don't. And you was telling me how you learned to not put your judgments on what somebody else could be doing, and you just strictly kind of focus it back onto you and the inner self. That way, you know, you're not, because we're all lacking in areas, but who are we to call out one another? It's just like, worry about yourself. And so I did want to add that too, because I think that was great.
Yeah. And you know, Jada, that's something that I'm learning in this season, right? is that I always put myself as part of the problem so I could be part of the solution, right? If I'm always looking at something else as the problem, then they have the power. I have no power to even be a part of the solution or solve the problem. One thing I would say is this: I'm learning that we're all human, right? And even my husband made a post a couple of days ago, right before his surgery, and he was talking about forgiving. And some of us, we have parents and we have people that raised us that hurt us, right? And sometimes if we don't deal with those wounds if we don't deal with those wounds, it carry on into our current relationships, right? And it also causes sickness in our body. So one of the things he said was, we have to understand that when people hurt us, we have to remember the space they could have been in or they was in, and that they just didn't know. And so it kind of relieves me when I think of when people do things or say things or they hurt me, instead of me just getting angry, I try to look at it as they're hurt, they're wounded, they just don't know. And it doesn't mean that you got to sit there and take the abuse, but it means that you free yourself from being angry. You free yourself from being filled with resentment and unforgiveness. We have to learn to be able to free ourselves. And that is one of the ways that I learn to free myself, and then just talking about people is so ugly. I mean, have you ever really witnessed somebody just talking nasty about somebody else? Because I know I've done it. And I hear other people doing it, and it's just not a cute look, And so I try to just, if I can't say nothing nice, I try to do it. Well, she's just hurt, or she's just this, or she's just that. And I really try to go into prayer. Thanks for having me, everyone. I'll see you guys soon.
All right, thank you. Bye.
All righty, bye-bye.
you.
Hey, Janice, so listen, I told Jada that I wanted to gift somebody something who was the most interactive. And you're the one who actually raised your hand to come back on. So I am cash apping you $100. I need your cash app, and I am cash apping you right now as soon as we get off, okay? Yes,
Janice?
you. Yes, you.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
I'll cash app her over it right now.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you as well. Bye, you guys.